Good morning, my dear students. As we already have started chapter 1, that is states. So, today let's continue with calculation of number of particles in a unit cell. Before that, we recall some of the topic which is related to this unit cell. We know that whenever we are talking about the constituent particles present in a solid, so these are arranged very close to each other. Very closely packing is done in case of solids. So here each constituent particle which contribute for the formation of crystal is called to be as lattice point, and these lattice point combine with one another to give a particular geometry that is called as crystal lattice. Okay, so here we can define crystal lattice as the arrangement of constituent particle in three dimension is called crystal lattice, and each crystal lattice is formed by the smallest repeating unit that is called as unit shell. Okay, unit shell, it is the uh, smallest point or smallest, like whenever we are talking about any matter is made up of the smallest particle, that is atom. So here crystal lattice is formed by the combination of repeating unit of unit shell, and then crystal lattice is formed. So here we have classification of unit shell on the basis of the places where the constituent particles are present. That also we have done, that unit shell as classified into three, as primitive unit shell, body centered unit shell, and face centered unit shell. So now today we are going to discuss about the number of constituent particles present in each unit shell. Okay, so first we will have the calculation of number of particles in each unit shell. That is, first we have primitive unit shell. If we are talking about the primitive unit shell, first look at the structure. These are the structure. With the help of structure only you people are able to know about this one. Simple cubic unit shell. In this cell we know in every unit shell, first the constituent particle should present at the corner. This is the unit shell. Here whenever we are talking about the constituent particle, it should be present at the corner. Look at the structure. See this one, constituent particle is present at the corner. In every corner it should be present. That's why it is called to be as primitive unit shell. But here whenever we are calculating the number of constituent particle, because these unit shell combine one another to form a crystal lattice, it means each unit shell is going to touch four more unit shell. Okay, so the constituent particle which is present at the corner, this one is going to contributed by 8 of the unit shell. Okay, you just imagine, until you can imagine it would be very difficult to understood, because see, this second structure, that is structure B, here we have the constituent particle where the 1/8 part of the constituent particle is present in one phase of the unit shell. In one unit shell it is getting only the 1/8 part. Why? Because each unit shell is contributed by the 8 unit shell. That's why whenever we are calculating the number of atom present and shared, so atom present at the corner shared by 8 unit cell, it means each is going to get 1/8 part. So here we can calculate it as 8 unit shell, 8 constant particle present at the corner, and each one is getting what? Each one is going to get 1/8 part. So here finally we got one atom in a in a simple cubic unit shell. Okay, so with the help of this one we can calculate for the primitive unit shell. For second, that is body centered unit shell. In this type of unit shell we know that uh, at the corner every constituent particle should be present at the corner. It means constituent particle is present at the corner. Along with the corner, in a body centered unit shell, constituent particle is also present at the body of the center of the body. Okay, so here first we will be taking for the corner. So for corner we have one, because at the corner 8 constituent particles are present, and each are going to gain 1/8 part. So it is as same as the first one, that is one atom. And whenever we are talking about the body, see here constituent particle is also present at the center of the body. So this which is present at the center, this one is not contributed to any other unit cell, it is only present at the center. It means each unit cell is going to get full one constituent particle. So here also we will get one. So by combining this, a body center unit cell has 8 into 1 upon 8 plus 1 because of the body center into 1. So the total in the body center unit cell we have 2 atoms. 1 because of the corner which is present at the corner, and 1 which is present at the center of the body. So total atom which is present in the body center, that is 2. This is very necessary to remember then that how many atoms are present, because with the help of this one question will be asked. Like if sometime the question may be asked that if atom A is present at the corner and B at the center of the phases, then what is the formula? Okay, so corner means 1 only, so A is equal to 1, so simply here you can write A. But if we are talking about the phase center, so let's calculate for the phase center, then I will tell you. So here we will have AB3, because in the phase center we have 3 atoms are present. Okay, so with the help of this one you will be getting numericals of 1 marks. That is very easy numerical. So you can easily solve the numerical with the help of the number of atom which is present in the different unit shell. So now we have face centered cubic unit shell. So here in the face center, we know that here we are talking about only cubes, and cubes, they have the same edge, and each cube has 6 phases. So because here we are talking about the phase, so here constituent particles are present at the phase along with the corner, because it should be present at the corner. Every unit shell constituent particle should be present at the corner. So here in the phase center, along with the corner, constituent particles are also present at the all 6 phases. Okay, so here again if we are talking about the corner only, first see here at each phases constituent particles are present. It means if any of the constituent particle is present at the phases, so each unit shell is going to get the half portion, because unit shell is combined with one another for the formation of crystal lattice. So if one is present at the phases, so each one is going to get the half portion of that constituent particle. Look at the structure here. We have for the phases we have half portion we are getting, and at the corner we are getting the 1/8 part. That already we have done for the simple unit cell. So for calculation here, whenever we are calculating for the face centered cubic unit shell, so because of the corner, 8 constituent particles are present at the corner, and each one is going to get the 1/8 part, that is 8 into 1 upon 8. And for the phase centered we have 6 phases, and each unit shell is going to get the half portion of that constituent particle, because half is for the next unit shell. So 6 into 1 upon 2, that is 3. So 1 plus 3 is equal to 4. So for the face centered unit shell we have the total number of atom present, that is 4. So with the help of this one we can calculate the number of constituent particle in each unit shell. So we have for the simple or primitive unit shell, that is the number of atom present in the primitive unit shell is 1. For the body center we have 1 for the corner and 1 for the body, that is 2. For the face centered unit shell we have 1 for the corner and 3 for the phases, that is equal to 4. Okay, so students, you people have to remember this, because it is very important. With the help of this one you will be getting numerical. See here I will show you one numerical, that a solid has a cubic structure in which X atom is located at the corner of the cube. corner. Okay, X is present at the corner, Y atom are at the center, cube center, and O atom are at the edge center, edge. What is the formula of the compound? So here we know that there are 8 corners of a cube and each corner has an atom of X present there. So if we are talking about the X, so each one is going to get the 1/8 contribution. So it means for X number of atom is 1. So X is equal to 1. For Y atom are present at the body center. It is given in the question, body center. Okay, so again we know for the body center this one is not going to contribute with anyone else, so that's why here body center for Y, here once again we have 1. But if we are talking about the edge, so each unit shall have 12 edge. Okay, so there are 12 edge of a cube and each edge has an atom of O at the edge center. So each atom of O present at the edge center makes 1/4 contribution towards a particular unit shell, because each one is going to touches 4 different unit shell. So here also again we have the 1/4 contribution of the edge. So 12 multiply 1/4, then here we will be getting 3. So it means O is equal to 3 atoms. So the formula of the compound will be what? X is X is equal to 1, Y is equal to 1, and O is equal to 3. So here the formula would be XYO3. Okay, hope you understood this numerical, because it is very easy. If still you will be getting any doubt, then you can directly call me, then I will make you more clear by giving some more examples. Okay, so let's move or continue with the another very important topic of this chapter, that is radius of atom. We can also calculate the radius of atom, that also we have done in class 11, that how do we calculate the radius. Like we know, whenever we are talking about the metals, so metals are simply arranged with one another. So the radius of the metal we can take by taking the distance between the nucleus of these two atoms. So that is the diameter, and by taking the half of this one we will get the radius. Okay, but if we are talking about the non-metal, we know non-metals, they just overlap with one another. It do not simply arrange, it overlap with one another, because non-metals are always present in the diatomic form. It cannot be present in the atomic form. So here the overlapping takes place. So here also we can calculate the radius. So these radius calculation we already introduced in class 11. Here I am going to tell you how do we calculate the radius of atom for different unit shell. So let's start with the first, that is simple cubic unit shell. Here we know that the atoms are present only at the corner, and whatever the atom is present at the corner, each one is going to touch other. Okay, so if we have constituent particles present at the corner, because we are talking about the simple cubic unit shell in which atoms are present, constituent particles are present only at the corner. So see, both are touching one another. So here if we need to calculate the radius, so the distance between the one nucleus to the another nucleus, here this one is taken as the diameter, and to get the radius we will divide this diameter by 2, then we will get the radius of per atom. Okay, and we know if we are talking about any of the cube, so cube has same length, whatever the edge we are talking about, it has same length all over. Okay, because it is a cube. So if the length from one side is a, then the length of all the side would be equal to a. Okay, so here in the radius of atom we have to see the relationship between the edge length and the radius of atom. So let's see the relationship. See, for the simple first we are talking about the simple cubic unit shell. So here we have the length of this edge is a, and because here we are talking about the radius, so here we have 2r. One is for one constituent particle, the distance between the nucleus to the last orbit, and here again to the nucleus, from the nucleus to the shell. So here we have 2r. Okay, so 2r is equal to a. So here we can also calculate the radius by writing r is equal to a upon 2. That is for the simple cubic unit shell. So with the help of this formula we can calculate the radius for the primitive unit shell. Next we have for face centered cubic unit shell. First see how these constituent particles are present. In face centered cubic unit shell, constituent particles are present at the corner and also at the faces. So here we have 6 faces. So these are present at the faces also and at the corner also. So let's take one of face because we have to calculate the radius. So forget about all the 6 phases. We are taking only one phase because with the help of one phase we will get the radius of each phase because all are having the same edge length. See, this is the next structure. Here we have constituent particle present at the corner and one is present at the faces. So when we take the radius of this one, so here we have three constituent particle. For one, we can take the radius from from the nucleus to the orbit. So it is equal to 1 r. For the center it is equal to 2 r, and at the corner it is again we have 1 r, so it is equal to total 4 r. And we know that if we are talking about the edge, so edge length is equal to a. So here we have 2a because see, look at another structure. Here we have right angle, in this we have 2a, so it is equal to 2a is equal to 4r. So according to the Pythagoras theorem, we know that a is plus b is equal to c, that is a square plus b is equal to c square. So here we have a, we can also write it as a square plus a square is equal to 4r square. So on simplifying this one, here we got 2a square is equal to 16r square and a square is equal to 16 upon 2r square. On simplifying this one, we will get a square is equal to 8r square, and we can also write this one as a is equal to 2 root over 2r. And because here we are calculating radius, so it would be equal to r is equal to a upon 2 root 2. So with the help of this one, we can calculate the radius for the face center cubic unit shell. Okay, here we got the relationship between the edge and the radius. Now let's move for the body centered cubic unit shell. We know that body centered cubic unit shell, here constituent particle is also present at the center of the body along with the corner. Okay, so here first it is present at the corner, all the corner we are having the constituent particle. Look at the structure, and also we have one constituent particle present at the center of the body. So here again we will be taking the radius from the one corner to the another corner. You just imagine that if you people are sitting in a room, so then take one corner of that room and another corner, means upper side and the lower side of the corner, and in between where you are sitting, you are not going to touch any other portion of the room. So it means you are sitting at the center, you are in the air, means you are not touching the floor, you are not touching the upper surface, and you are not touching any of the corner. It means you are present at the center. So here we are calculating the angle or the length from the one corner to the another corner by touching the body, center of the body. So here you only by imagining you can understood this one, because without writing or without doing anything it would be very difficult to understood. So just imagine that if it is present at the corner and at the center, so here the length we will be taking again. Here we have two constituent particles, so the length from the nucleus to the orbit we have 1 r, and for the center we have 2 r, and again for the last one we have 1 r. It means total we have 4 r. And if we are talking about the length, then for reaching from one corner to the another corner we are having 3a, so that's why 3a is equal to 4r. So again we will be doing the same, that is 4r square is equal to a square plus a square plus a square, that is equal to 3a square. Then we have 16r square is equal to 3a square, and again we can write it as r is square is equal to 3 upon 16 a square, and on simplifying this one we will get r is equal to root over 3 upon 4 a. Okay, So with the help of this one, we can get what? We can calculate, or we can get the relationship between the radius and the edge. So this formula is also very important, students, because with the help of this one also you will be getting many numericals. Okay, you just try to solve all those numericals related to the radius of the atom, because they all are having different way to calculate the radius. For the simple unit shell, if we need to calculate the radius, here the formula is a upon 2. For the face center, here we have r is equal to a 2 root 2, and for the body center we have r is equal to root 3 upon 4a. So with the help of this one, we can calculate the radius for all type of unit shell. Okay, so students, after this one, we will after explanation of this one, we came to know about the number of constituent particle present in each unit shell, and also we know the radius, relationship between the radius of atom and the edge length of any unit shell. After this topic, I am going to explain that the packing efficiency of constituent particle in any of the solids state. That we know that solid state, here constituent particles are very closely packed with one another. So because of these closely packed only, we have the rigid structure of solid. But how efficiently these constituent particles are packed up or present in any of the solid, that is called as packing efficiency of any of the solid. So that we will discuss in the next class. Hope you understood all the things that we have done today. If still you will be getting any doubt, then students, please contact me, then I will make you clear, and I will let you explain the numericals related about this one. Okay, so thank you so much, students.